Okay, let's jump right into this really complex legal and public debate surrounding Prince Andrew and, of course, the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
At the heart of this whole controversy is a fascinating proposal that kind of forces us to ask, should the rules bend for royalty? So today, we're going to break down the arguments for and against, and really look at this debate from every single angle.
First things first, to really get a handle on what's at stake here, we need to set the stage and understand the immense pressure Prince Andrew has been under for a while now.
The situation for Prince Andrew has been, well, incredibly serious. He was staring down a high-stakes civil lawsuit right here in the United States from Virginia Giuffre, who accused him of sexual abuse, which, for the record, he has consistently and strongly denied. He was even stripped of his royal duties and faced this constant pressure to testify.
Now, despite his denials, despite his claims that he'd never even met his accuser, Prince Andrew ultimately settled the case, and the reported figure is around £12 million, all to avoid a trial. You know, this settlement is really what sets the stage for the next major twist in the story.
So let's look at the proposal from David Boies. He's Virginia Giuffre's lawyer, and his idea is at the very center of this whole debate. Boise puts this pretty controversial idea on the table. The U.S. should basically guarantee Prince Andrew that he will not be arrested if he travels to America to testify. Now, the goal, at least from Boise's perspective, is purely about getting to the truth, about getting information. And the logic behind this is actually pretty straightforward. Boies is arguing that, look, Andrew has a moral obligation to share what he knows about the wider Epstein network. So by granting him safe passage, you take away the fear of arrest, which leaves him, in theory, with absolutely no excuse not to cooperate. But, as you can probably guess, this proposal, and frankly the entire narrative around it, has been met with a fierce and completely opposing point of view. And this is articulated most strongly by the journalist Michael Tracy. Yeah, Tracy doesn't just disagree here. He frames the entire public story as a dangerous fabrication. He argues it's a form of moral panic, one that's fueled by what he sees as weak evidence and, in his words, journalistic credulity, which is basically the media's willingness to believe a story without being skeptical enough.
And this right here, it lays out two totally incompatible realities. I mean, they couldn't be more different. On one side, you have the pursuit of what's described as a massive criminal enterprise through the legal system, and on the other, you have the claim that this is all just an extortionist lawsuit built on shaky testimony, feeding a massive media frenzy.
So you might be wondering, why is there so much intensity around one person's potential testimony? Well, to get that, we need to zoom out a little and look at the bigger picture, this widespread feeling that the full story of the Epstein network is still being hidden.
Take a look at this number, 3 million. That's the estimated number of Epstein-related files that are still unreleased. And this massive gap in information, well, that's exactly what fuels all the immense public speculation and frustration.
And all of this, it just leads to this incredibly high level of public distrust. There's this widespread perception that powerful individuals are being shielded. And that's only fueled by things like redacted names and documents and the slim chance of any more convictions. So the fight over Prince Andrew's testimony, it's kind of become a symbol for this much larger battle for accountability. And that brings us right to the core conflict, the central dilemma that this entire situation presents. It's really a fundamental tension, right? Do you make a special deal? Do you offer safe passage to a prince if it means you might uncover truths about a vast criminal network that would otherwise stay hidden? Or does doing that just create a two-tiered system of justice?
And ultimately, that's the question that just hangs over this entire debate. It really forces us to ask what compromises, if any, are acceptable when the stakes are this incredibly high. It's a provocative final thought, one that really challenges our ideas about equality under the law. And it leaves us questioning what truly matters more, upholding the process as it is or uncovering the truth, no matter what it costs.